So Irish older people, right? They're obsessed with like privacy and secrecy and people like not knowing your business. You know what I mean? It's like don't tell anyone that now. Like you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, she'd like if I owed her a fiver or something, if I came back to give it to her, if there was someone else there, she'd be like, come into the kitchen, come into the kitchen, you know? And I'd be like, what's the difference? But recently I was there and a friend of hers is in an old folks home, right? And Deirdre Buckley is the woman's name, right? So I'll be skinned alive for this if she hears it. I don't know how the fuck she'd hear it, but
Unnecessary name drop.
yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry, Miss Buckley.
Won't mention Jessie, but
Mrs. Buckley's going straight in the shit. So she's in like a retirement home or like an old folks home, you know. And me and my grandmother were talking about how great it was Ireland won the Six Nations, and my grandmother would watch the match or whatever. And she said, "Did you know Deirdre Buckley? She's in the old folks home." And then she goes, "And this doesn't leave these four walls, right?" And I was like, "Okay, like what are you going to tell me?" She was like, "Honestly, I don't want anyone going around talking about this." And I was like, "Okay, drop it on me." She was like, "For the Six Nations match, they brought a telly into the common room and they all watched it together." That was it. That was it. This doesn't leave these four walls. If like this gets out, I'm like, who the fuck would I even tell?
They will close down that old folks home.
Exactly.
If they hear of the
Deirdre
shenanigans.
Buckley would be arrested on the spot.
And at halftime, an orgy broke out. Like, how bad could
You
it
can
be?
tell that part.
Tell the orgy bit, but not
Yeah,
the
what could I'm like, what could possibly have happened in the scenarios? I borrowed toilet roll off her. I didn't give it back to her. That would be obscene. But I was in her house and I was like, "Oh, can I grab a toilet roll?" Because I remembered I didn't have toilet roll in my house and I wouldn't go to a shop before I go home. And she's like, "Yeah, do you have a bag with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just out in the car." She's like, "Well, wrap it up in something when you're bringing it out to the car." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "What if the neighbours see you?" I was like, "They'll know you have family that shits." Like, I mean, what?
They'll think you're going to Deirdre's.
Yeah.
The Six Nations was on, and you have the tissue. The stories will be told.
It's like, if they think I've raised a family that doesn't have toilet roll in their house and they have to come to me for it, like I have no idea. But yeah, it's just.
What was the possible secrecy around the Six Nations? Why would she have wanted?
Absolutely nothing. There was nothing expressed to me that could be considered a secret.
Do you think it's just a nice little rhetorical trick where they're like, "And this doesn't leave the four walls"? She's just building drama. She's just telling the story in a nice. Or no, it's legit.
There'd be all sorts of things. I was here's another example. I moved into a new house like last year, and I needed a bed. I'm just one of those guys, gotta have a bed. And when I got the bed from some friend of hers that was moving house. It's like this lovely bed or whatever. And she said, "I'll get you some duvet covers and pillowcases too." My granny did. And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, yeah." She said, "But I'll tell her they're for this Nigerian family that I know that needs them, that needs the bedding." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, I don't want her to think you're kind of taking everything from the whole bed." And I'm like, "Why not? I'm buying the bed. I'm paying this woman for it. Why can't she know?" And like, you're introducing this extra element of a Nigerian family. What if she has to meet them? You know what I mean? Does this family even fucking exist?
Where's this duvet?
Yeah. The thing was, I was picking up the duvet at the same time. So she's like, "Now just mention to her that this, so just say it fast." Like, so she had already informed her that this wasn't for me because I only need the bed. I'm not destitute. I just need the bed. I don't need bedding, right? So I have to say when I'm picking it up, she's like, "Oh, and that's not for you. That's for the Malalas or whatever." Like, and I'm like, "Yes, that is for the Nigerian family." She's like, "Well, I bring it. No, I'll drop it off to them. I'll bring it to them."
Yeah.
And let me be clear, it fits this bed.
Yeah.
It's the right size for this bed because they have the same bed.
They actually have the same bed. Yeah, that's why it's been set up like this. Yeah, it's just.
I don't sleep with covers. I don't like. It's restricted for me.
Yeah,
but I know this family down the road love covers and pillows.
I know everything has Ferrari 1, F1 on it. Everything, but it's just a coincidence as well. All right. They love F1. I love F1. There's a lot of F1 going around town these days.